Hello, thanks very much for joining me again. Today's stillwater pattern is what I call a barker's buzzer. Now, it comes from way back when, but over 20 years ago. But I was shown this by Ronnie Christie, who was shown it by, I can't remember the lad's first name, but a guy called Barker. I'm sure somebody on Facebook will know. But he showed Ronnie these buzzers and they looked so lifelike that we immediately tied up loads of them, and over 20 years they've accounted for most of my fish. So I'm going to show you what it is, and in the vise is a Hanak H 310 barbless hook in size 12, and this is a heavy gauge wire hook, so it really gets down quick. The thread I'm going to be using today is the UTC thread 140 denier, and it's in black. I've already added a little bit of wax to the end of my thread to get me going, and I'm going to catch my thread just in behind the eye, and I'm going to bring it down. Thread's opened out nice for me there, nice and flat, to just as the hook starts to descend into the bend. I'm going to stop there and just remove my waste. Okay, next I'm going to catch in a bit of stripped peacock herring. I'm being lazy and using the pre-stripped one from Troutline. These are the extra long. I've got one here, and what I want to do is make sure that you see the definition between the light and the dark. I like the dark to come up first, so I'm going to just make sure that I get that right. So you can see it's really long fibres, but I don't want all that, so I'm going to just snip away there, because I want to try and get as much of this nice segment in as I can. So I've got that there. I'm going to come over and capture that in. Now, the herald does cause a little bit of bulk at the bottom there, but that doesn't matter because I am going to form a taper here with my thread. I'm just spinning it out so it's nice and flat. Then I'm going to go back down. And as I get to the bottom, again I'm going to spin it out, get it nice and flat for this bit, and then just form a nice little taper all the way up to the thorax. Oops, sorry, just hit a jar of resin on my table there when I was spinning that out. And then I can see it spinning up again. It's been really naughty. There we go. And all the way up to the top, and I can take that out of the way. Now, initially, I would take this up with my fingers, and then, if needed, I would use hackle pliers. But let's see if we can get away with it like this. So now I don't want it in tight touching turns. I want it to be nice and open. Well, not too open, but well, you can see what I'm doing. Very difficult to explain. So I want it like a millimetre or two apart, so it looks like a rib. On some flies I use it so that I have touch and turns with this, but I much prefer these open turns. It gives a really nice effect. I've managed to do that with my fingers, but if I couldn't, I would simply have got my hackle pliers and brought the rest of that up. So I'm going to just capture that in. I can twist that away now, and I've got that perfect. So you'll note that I've got a nice taper in the body all the way down to the butt section of the fly, and the turn should look fairly even. So that's looking pretty good so far. Next, I'm going to add in my wing buds. Now, I'm going to use a combination of things today actually. So I'm going to use some of the Comp Candy Biots. This one is the Goose Biots Flow Sunburst. And I've already taken a couple off the stem. And I'm going to capture them in either side, like so. Here's the first one in place. And I want to try and get them fairly even, so the same on each side. Excuse my fingers while I just get that into place. So, got that, and I can now start to build my thorax. Now there's a couple of things you can do here, but I'm not going to go into all the different variations. You can add a thorax cover with some pearl lurex or whatnot, but there's a multitude of things you can do. But I'm just going to keep it nice and simple, and this is how I fish them, just like this. Sorry, that's my dog just having a drink, if you can hear that. I know, it does beat me talking. So, there we go. I've built up a nice rugby ball head there, and I'm going to bring my biots forward of each other. And as you've seen me tying in previous videos, when I'm doing this sort of technique, I want to try and get them so that they're coming across each other. Bear with me, it's not playing. Don't be too savage with it, because it will snap on you. So I've got that. I'll just open the vise so you can see. So you can see I've got my biots from this side crossing across that way, and the biots on your side coming towards me. So once I've got that in place, I can get 2 or 3 wraps in, keeping real tension. Sorry, I'll need to lock the vise down again. Keeping real tension on the thread, you can twist away. Take your time with this. Don't be too harsh, or it will just all come undone on you. So I've now got that twisted away, like so. I'm going to put a couple of half hitches in now to finish off. You guys with the whip finish mastery will be currently showing off your skills. And I can take that away. Okay, so for me, that is the buzzer. So I'm going to do the coating in a moment. That's what I would fish very happily. And I'd have three or four, depending on what I'm fishing. Fly wise, I would have them tied on straight hooks and curved hooks like this. But that's pretty much what I use. So let's start with the varnishing. Now, Owen ties probably the best buzzer in the country. I really like his buzzer. It's very similar to this, but he uses Sally Hansen, super glue and Sally Hansen combination. I'm going to, for the ease of the tutorial, use some Solaris to finish the fly off. And I didn't take enough there. I needed a bit more on my brush, to be honest. And again, work it round the fly. And this is the difference between you know, the finish, if you like. If you don't, I mean, you could just fish it as I showed you there, and it would still catch fish. Would it last very long? I'm doubtful. You know, once you've had 2 or 3 fish, you'll probably find that the strip quill's breaking away for the fly, and it's no good to you. You know, you've got to get another fly on. So I'll just get that cured off, that one. Dave Barker, I think his name was, now that I think on. Dave Barker. Yeah, he used to manage the English loch style team. Yeah, must be 2004 I'm thinking, but well, I may be wrong. My mind isn't what it was. Dave Barker, I'm sure it is Dave Barker. There we go, that's the first coat on. Okay, back with my second coat of resin. Now you can go mad with this with the finish. I mean, I tend to put about 3 coats of resin on it to get the finish I want, but you know, 1 would suffice for protection of the quill. But if you want it, if you're a bit pedantic like I am, you want it to look nice. So it gets 3 coats. And as always, the last coat I use a different resin for it. I can just see on the top there I've caught a little fibre that's floating around in my tying area, and that's been captured into the fly now, so I'm not going to worry about it. It still looks pretty good. And I would fish these straight lining. On saying that, when I'm straight lining, I do prefer to fish straight hooks. So I would fish these sort of flies under the bung on the curved hooks. I don't know why, I'm sure it doesn't make a blind bit of difference actually, it's just a confidence thing. But when I'm fishing the bung, I just like to have curved hooks on. I think with the static nature of that way of fishing, it suits the fly better. I don't know if you've watched buzzers in the water, but what they do is they're striving to get to the surface to hatch out, and as they're swimming up, they go straight. You know, they straighten out. They're not curved. But when they stop for a rest, they curve up like this. Hence, I'm trying to get a fibre out of here. It's just annoying me, and it's causing my finish not to be hard like it. So bear with me. Just about there. There it is. Annoying, but there we go. I'm just going to have to put up with it. Right, I'm going to come in with my torch for the last time and cure the fly off. Yeah, so I'm trying to always try and tie flies that are going to catch fish and that I fish with myself. I got a bit excited the other week there and tied a fancy buzzer that, although it may look nice, I doubt very much I would even tie it on my cast when I was out fishing. Might need to give it a go actually to see if it works. But, I've got several like it in my box that I've sat there for years. This is the chap. The only buzzer you'll ever need. I hope that's been of some use to you. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. If you want to make them up, that's how to do it.